plenty election, not because they no want for vote, but now because of this simple mistake where I can't tell you what so, now it go make plenty people no vote. Right now, as the Electoral Commission, Salone, don't pull the date for vote and for register, plenty people just the yagba and they rush go do things them as then they tell them for do. But hey, members say registration, the voter registration, they begin from the 3rd of September to the 4th of October 2022. Then a number 1 step where go give you guarantee say you go vote. But if you make mistake during this time, you not go for vote. And I think this way person not go able for help you pan. What in this mean? It means say no ever register na the area where you dey work, do business, or where you dey go school. You know what it make? You don't know. Sometimes the time for the election, then go say public transport not for run. This na big challenge for you. Remember, if you tap na Kalbaton and then you dey work na Lumley, how you go able for go and vote na that side? You go able for waka? The answer na no. So, no make that mistake there. As them blow the whistle when they say, hey, today na the 3rd of September for begin the voter registration. Do ya try by all possible means for register na the center where they near you house. So the day when they go say for voting, whether Mutuka deal, Mutuka not deal, not to your business. You dey go serve na morning, vote, return back na your house. So you see, if you make this mistake, the possibility go they say you no go vote 2023. So waiting at this yagba now for say me party go continue for then power or me party go return a power if I'm not able for vote. You want vote, they change the whole situation.
Ambuluna kusha enuna aruo. We are on combat today. For can't talk about things where they happen. Now we on suit ya Salone. I love you. Oh, love we never do them bad things them. We dey feel a more Salone. I love you. Whoa, we are. Family una kabo una kushe how we all they do inside this one big family house. Well, as una know, una small one them don't come back. How the thing they go, na so we bring them to una. Because we don't sign to una per se. Whatever thing where they go on wrong, good, ugly, na Salone. We they try very hard for bring them to you. Will not be know bottom 8. Or you if you don't know bottom, we try to come break them down so you will get more understanding than how you don't know bottom. Today, we get issues them. We're very strong and important. We concern Mama Salone, where we call Weird. The first one on the basket. As we all be know, the think tank tool will be there among we the people and the Electoral Commission, where we they call NEC. Well, NEC don't pull word come on I do say. They know they add no parliamentary seats for 2023 election. What did that one they mean? NEC put on down, that mean the border within that village. NEC, when are the body, where they for take care of election and vote business in the country. They don't come and talk, say, as other people will say, they want for add constituencies them. So we get more seats them in parliament. Well, let us say that one day no go be, then no go add no seats. But remember, say we get boundary, the limitation. So if NEC pull this word, waiting at the meaning behind that one day, when they come inside that issue day, so we be able to discuss and understand we said. Well, Pullman not there again. How the thing they go, now so we the cow time. It's still not tap there. And not be no say people a day will get a mind for talk. Because plenty 10 day, we don't the Allah say But when the plenty civil society that will be get ready for say they all on mumu, well, it will never too late to be a king. Still, other civil society they know they come on, they talk for we now. One civil society don't come on and rob much for the field business. What did they say? They come out and tell we say the Sierra Leone government's power misdirection. They're really dishonest to the fair price in business inside Mama Salone. Maybe what I'm about this shit, it will tell them that the balance. For now that's why I get home.
Hey God, caretaker Bio say he ready for support ESL for make sure say the election of 2023 be free and fair one. But as this dey go on, the Parmanent Sectary na Northwest don say as Kuskas bin dey this BNTM na Tambaka chiefdom who say 2 people lost their life, other one dem wound serious one. He say as the aggrieved people dem bin dey na court wey dem go petition the Paramount Chieftaincy election, caretaker Bio na im say that case dey no to serious case. Let the appeal court just forget about am. How the court talek? We know say the court suppose for be independent, but maybe na because this na APC channel na im make one put am that way dey. You go carry am for you sef na the nuts of the Parmanent Sectary. We can tell una say only when you listen the fine one you go hear where dem dey prove which. The program now we are. My name na Sebepe, the freedom fighter.
And me, now by Bure Kablai from the north with the sharpest cutlass.
Do ya, as you just to join me, auntie, not forget to the like button, the share button, and then you comment na part of the program. Drop and down for we na the comment section. But before I go, I see the justice sector they get in your own kind tamu business. As Kamaremba don swing 2 years na remand, alleged don do like 40 days inside the remand. Well, so where they allege say, where they accuse for where they charge go court for murder, the court don swam am bail, say let it go first and come. Why they not give the other one the bail? Especially alleged because Kamaremba then say he not give in US book and he forget paupa. Well, all of this will carry more for inside the program today. This one more time, na the program we had. Sebepe na my name. Well, this one we could just rub more para before we go inside the fair price business. As I say, this BNTM, one issue come up. Usai then say one soe go put bondo and then charge am for wetin dem call manslaughter. And it begin for go court, but the court don't give am wetin dem call bail. As dem give am bail, people don't begin ask question now. If they don't give this woman bail, where na person in life go, wetin make dem not give bail to the other one they yet? This is the big question where plenty people they ask. But Bible, what do you think about this first of all?
Well, for me, when it comes to the issues them day, now one great question I would like for ask, or now one great talk I can always like for talk. For anybody under this particular government, we get any case of that nature, you go na the Sierra Leone courts, where we sabi, you see it commodity with bail. You don't need for ask no question. All what you need for know is that person they not true Sierra Leonean. Waiting at the try for talk. Anybody will get case of that kind of nature right now inside Salone under this powerful government. You see the courts give them bail, or they even rush with that case they for make them talk quick. Chamepe just no say na young people them. Just no say na them supporters them. Just no say na them fambul them. The one that way them feel say na threat to them, as you draw Mohammed Kamaremba Mansari and Kimbos LAG, where they represent Red Flag Movement, where they see say na people them where they talk about the Yuki and Dabaru where they do. Like when me and you, they talk about that so. Who side are they up to now? So that they not be say for labor part that one day. People say for the listen we don't do for make them judge that case day. We asking no question to nobody.
So let me watch this quick from the Judiciary of Sierra Leone. Not just rub we ID or we mot the quick one. This not the situation. Then say the magistrate, when a magistrate Momo Lansana, don't grant bail to Sowo Sandy.
Call the family name again.
No.
No, just come people here and find
No. Now fumble name.
Sandy, I help you. Sandy, go ahead.
Okay, Sowo Sandy, who was remanded in Matru town in Bont.
What do you want to kill you with laugh?
Eh?
What do you want to kill you with laugh?
But you know you read the tongue again.
When I make a say, talk and make people hear.
Okay.
Sandy,
Sowo Sandy. Then we remand them. Then we keep them na detention or under remand na Matru John inside bonds, inside caretaker bio in your district. Well, what do you make them be keep and dey? Then be accuse them, say he alleged to have unlawfully killed the victim, Masire Sie, during Bondo initiation ceremony in Nyandehun village. The matter comes up again the 27th. So it begin go and they don't grant them bail. Yeah. After we and this may make incompetent so we they been dance gladly say yes at least it's good. Yeah. So now they don't grant them bail and it begin attend back the 27th. Well, we find out say alleged Iyon and Kamarimba Iyon they say hey, mommy and daddy business with underage. Well, they say they get bail, but because Kamarimba not present what he call in US book, they not go allow him for common adom. He did it. Well, the thing now is shocking about Kamarimba issue. Kamarimba don't say for the past weeks and months, and not they even get access for see in lawyer them, or even in family members them, or even phone call. Because they don't tap all of them things and they from him. They don't make so much that then they make now things very difficult for them. Let's just say, me are tired and they give up. Election on 39 to 40 days. Yeah, it's still on remand. Then say they not go left him because it will go tamper with evidence. It will go meet the one that we go lay complain. But in the case of this, they say no, we go no more, go they can't attend. Yeah, we go now defend with and do them. This is not the situation with regards with justice system right now in the country.
Well, all of them why it find when they happen where it's so simple for we now where we get them platform there where some people they get notified. Now some of them think here we can always talk where some of una we know they think the country, we know they even think una self, and we know they think una picking the future, they come and talk. The things them we una feel for talk against people that really say the truth and the things really happen under these Yuki governments. Una don't hear how this thing happened, the background of the case, una don't hear the side where the Sowe come out, una don't hear the son name of the Sowe, una don't hear. And then son name of Fatima Biobi come out and tell we say, not the real Sierra Leonean them, not the pure Sierra Leonean them, and now they get the book of Salone. We, the book them all what we get, not the fake book we get, the passports them what we use, not the fake one. My brother don't go reference to Mohammed Kamarimba Mansari. Where, to be honest with you, that one they not hide again. We caretaker will get to na caretaker bio. Now one great mission again on right now to Mohammed Kamarimba Mansari issue. We think caretaker bio want for do Mohammed Kamarimba Mansari. He want for kill him. But you know one do one like we send in presidential guards them go fire people them na Pandemba road. Now he make you find out say that they deprive them right now in so many things them where they make in they give up and die for himself. And whether one day happen still, Mohammed Kamarimba Mansari in blood, in soul, is still there to caretaker bio. Never mind caretaker bio. He don't care because he used to. Inokia, when they say killing, Inokia. So just like I tell you, in no one for send in police or in soldiers for go fire. Come to LJ again, when my brother draw reference to. Caretaker be don't pass command to in IG for kill LJ. Now where they not get because the alarm will be don't blow and the kind of popularity where LJ gets make them be hesitate for do that kind of thing. What did them go ahead and do? They go grip am, chap aid in the name of then they go creep in ear. Where they young police officer we train and get plenty button and come and tell you say they not even get the right for make them charge any complainant, right? In aid or for do that kind of thing where they do to LAJ. That one they be make they even demote that particular mandate because he come and talk the truth. This caretaker what we get a very simple for her for kill people them. A very simple for her for left in talks them for kill people them. Well, the caretaker he get talks them at the various departments them, the police, the soldier, and the civilians them. He get talks them different side them. So no doubt if caretaker he on person until now his sister, how you call him, he left to you, he involved in a case where somebody lost in life. But today as we talk, because in a Sandy, they don't left him. Because he come on your side where in peace and a stronghold, they don't left him. But I want to mean by boy, I know the doubt. Because if presiding of all nature, we see in copy men them, in copy SLPP supporters them come out and give evidence say now they all there with presiding. And indeed then are evidence where there's a set presiding. Don't give them threats say if you not take them, let's say get for lost their life, they need justice. Please add in command for make they kill in driver when I don't pull. At the end of the day, when Prince add in the police and camouflage, we go keep him my host, monitor and count and the police say they don't free him. The panic, the blood, it catch him in the way, he don't know wait for talk. Now, but Samura Camera, he talk with them, pull him. So, my brother, my sister, you really listen. This, now the government, where we get now Mama Salone. My brother, my sister, you were the cause for this government. This are the government where the cause for. But what comes around must surely goes around, or what goes around must come around one day. Where till they go, they meet you, just sound like PP. When you tin up for PP, women, the way you pull them, you push outside the end of your foot. So you where they jubilate today. Waiting at the try for talk. If you not be you today, but maybe tomorrow, it will be you or you closest person where you say they come and cry like how other people they cry today. I rest my case, my brother.
You know, I see one video na Facebook, a TikTok video. So waiting happen. This man get a donkey. The donkey, he and this donkey then a bush. Now he begin beat the donkey. If they give the donkey na in face, sober slap. If they bang like for say, like where they fat serious person. The donkey no worry am. But the donkey na indicate this man go side to go. This man need this donkey in service. Now the man end up for claim on top the donkey. What did the donkey do? Now the donkey turn. Now he betting foot. Now the man begin like, oh yo. The donkey betting foot in all arm, in all the left arm. Like when somebody they retaliate say you, now you do me this. Myself na me option this. He better, when left arm. Those two, the man just sit down, the donkey hit him up, then they watch themselves. So, waiting, how many want for put them? Let me put them into context. Now, you find out, say, after the election, the people not useful anymore. This government then just to do waiting in one for do. But election time they come. All of the sweet talk then they come. Then go on for use we. After when they don't give we slap now face. Give we bang. Fet we better one. Lock we in a jail. We want talk they all we. Beat we. Do we all sorts of things then. Kill we. But when election time they come, they get fine face. That time they, now they tell this way they go really want for they can make some kind of way for make them able for get what we want. But hey, we only get one way for bets like the donkey. Go register and vote. And when you vote, take them vote to the country store. When you go see the paper, you say you. I need vote for you. Go give Marabio in face X. Then you go to the other hand, I vote for you. And avoid any contact. When you vote, not vote with badat. Just go vote and come out the saffron one. Go vote, put a make sure say you vote clean one. Put a middle If it possible, middle who said they sell a vote. Small one let it bright somewhere than the same. Not put her near in face, not put her at the candidate in face. Because all of that and day, if you meet up some polling officer or party agent, then they can tell you say, na void. So please make sure say, okay. So Cathy, tell me how italic right now. Is okay?
The sound?
Not to sound. They say it break. The network they break. So tell me if it's okay now. For we okay, right? Sister admin, we all line okay? Please tell me if you're okay. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
So that means we okay.
So this is not the system. Yeah. Right now, from where election term done, say 4 years, then just the between like donkey. But when the election term one come, then one can ride now the same donkey in back. Same donkey in back. So please, una get for be okay and know exactly what you una do. Yeah, this is not just, I'll decide for being this. I know we'll play the video because I don't know. But I decide for can explain unto you, let you see. If I don't file, let you see. I know some of you don't see this. Let you see where this man, they bang this donkey in his face, in mouth, in all sides. But the donkey is so smart in all area. Now me, they care you go. You won't go sit on top of the donkey back. Then the donkey just turn. Bruh, and it turn. It better when I cry no more, I cry. And then it's the helpless one. Now go on the watch the donkey. Now so election day. Now so election day. If na lie, watch how they treat APC. When they go then sit down full like soap puss then they watch. They don't beat them. You know who treat the people ever for treat them. The fact this government don't over-treat the people them. So we dey wait for see if na the story of the donkey and the man, or na the story of the jewel and the poor man. The program now we had. My name is Pierre, the freedom fighter.
And me, now Babure, the biggest warrior.
Okay, so we move to another issue. Still inside the donkey and the man in story. Now the politicians then they make smart. They tell we say, then they help we, which of course then they use, abuse, and then they hit we. What do I mean? The fuel price we all know say when fuel they go up na inside the country, then they tell we plain one say na the international community, na the world market, na barrel price. They not they get any hesitation for kick the price. In fact, from almost 15,000, now na 22. In fact, then now they don't put 2,000. But guess what? The way out then the fact the price maybe they go up, not to so then put and down again. Now, first of all, listen to the government. Interestingly, before I play this, 1 or 2 times people they don't can say why we not they bring the government part. But like every day we they bring government part inside our program. Just that not to really interview them. But any issue, some of the issues that we talk about, we must make sure say we bring the government the impact they explain. Then we analyze. So please, this na government impact, yeah? When they come back just now, let we just listen to Imram Sila, where they na the strategic communication unit. And this particular thing now from Radio Democracy 98.1. Then good morning, Salone program. We come back just now.
Well, a few things don't change slightly. Before this last meeting, they meet every 20 days for determine within the plat system look like based on within the international formula when every country they use. But within don't change now that it happen every 2 weeks. So at this last meeting, it happened at the Chief Minister in office, Jacob Jesus Safar, and now they then sit down together the oil marketers and Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Trade, PRA, and then look at the plat formula. So one of the things that we've always done is say when we come to fuel business now that it's a moving average of plus or minus 5. So whenever I go plus 5, then it means the price they go up. Whenever I go minus 5, then it means the price get for candon. And in this particular instance, it don't candon to minus 5. And therefore, they make that determination day from 22 to 20. And so now that make a government announce. So we think if happen that in the next 2 weeks, there also going to be another review. But then that not they suggest anything. It only means say that review they go happen in another 2 weeks. We're not going to make that determination day as to whether price they go up or they cannot. Because I remember say plenty time we don't get the opportunity for talk about petrol business. One of the things that we don't say lately, now the fact that uncertainty they in the markets, yeah, and because of the uncertainty, then nobody can forgive any cast iron guarantees as to within the next 2 weeks could look like, within the next 4 weeks could look like, within the next 6 weeks could look like. The one and they get for be determined by other global factors. But within we they do in terms of the calculation, now like a moving average, right, of the last 15 days, the last 2 weeks, that is what is going to be taken into consideration. So in the next 2 weeks when they meet back, they also get for look at the moving average over that period.
Waiting. The oil marketing companies together with governments can look at for ensure so within they reduce, then they within the range. As it is currently, Salone at the sub-region, we seem to forget the highest when you look at the trend. So now that make Musabe they asked earlier, waiting they look at for less Salone agree say now 20 loans they feel for they at this time.
It also
I can take into consideration also the range at which the sub-region they.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, interestingly enough, I've been getting a conversation with a friend. We don't spend about 20 years in the petroleum sector, so he understands I'm back and front. And he said to me a few things what I already know, but just so for re-emphasize the point. Number one, that then, I mean, when they do determine the price of fuel, there's something called harmonization. So you look at the sub-region and also see within the various prices then look like. But let's also not forget, and to your question, Mabel, now the fact that every country gets your pricing formula. So I think say it could also be interesting for throwing into the conversation within their own pricing formula look like in terms of the taxes and all that and the way then they take. That is what makes their own determination. For we know say, right, we look at the price, I mean the market price, I mean at the sub-region, number one. Number two, it's also important for no, and this is not something we don't say several times before, that from 2020 to now, government don't lost about 516 billion, where otherwise we don't go per revenue. Thirdly, government don't also make sure, say, over this period, right, and going forward for the foreseeable future, we don't make sure, say, we don't provide the necessary foreign exchange to the oil importers. So the amount now we talk about is about $84 million.
And GB don't make earlier the explanation as to how government reach at this. And when you look at the global petrol price, it clear says Salone higher than the sub-region in terms of cost where people buy the fuel. And you don't make points, but the formula we say governments know where other countries them they use. But when you look at where the petrol price come down at the international markets, they come down and watch by country, they come down drastically. So waiting at this reason we make it they come down drastically. Other countries than at the Mano River Union, they're able to get the price lower than Salone, where we still get the highest in the sub-region.
So first of all, I think it's important for we know say the drop in petroleum products na the international markets it can by 7%. Yeah. And we Salone don't reduce we own by 9%. And to your question specifically, let's just give an average, yeah, of 13 countries then. We include Gambia, Ghana, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria, and other countries them outside West Africa. Yeah. So Gambia then price, and this is at 18th July 2022. So you talk about the most recent data were available on within petroleum prices they look like. Yeah?
Now from whose sites you get that from?
So at the camp largest done them, yeah. Gambia na 22, yeah, diesel na 20. Ghana 19, petrol, diesel 22. Guinea 19, petrol, diesel 19.
19
right,
waiting.
in terms of the equivalent in leons.
12,
in
12.
the new leons now they talk about, yeah. Liberia na 22 for petrol, diesel na 26. Malawi na 26 and 25. Mauritius 21, and then there's omission for then the price for diesel. Morocco na 23, 21. Nigeria petrol there's an omission, but then na 21 for diesel. Seychelles na 23 and 24. Sierra Leone na 20 and 20. Yeah, South Africa na 20 and 21. Zimbabwe na 27 and 22. So the point was.
So somebody going to ask why the comparison to countries outside the Mano River Union basis, for example, for instance, because if Salone and Guinea get the same pricing, or that go get direct impact on trade between the two countries, then why the example outside the Mano River Union Basin?
So it is
Liberia and Guinea, for instance, or Ivory Coast.
So it is more than within you suggest. I mean, we now members of which you could call the Mano River Basin, right? But then also the sub-region, right? West Africa, which they be beyond this Mano River Basin, with top number one. Number two, I think it gives you a sense as to what in the average look like, right, across the continent. I think say down then at the point where I really want to make not necessarily the differences in terms of the price, right? But then if you watch of all them countries there where I don't get within a price look like, you could see say we own sort of reasonably better. Number one, number two, right? I mean all the within which you could call the ballpark figure, yeah, in terms of within some of the averages, then they look like some of the higher, right? Some of them they just about within we all look like now, but then. The point where they try for make, I think I don't make this point earlier, and the fact that, right, every country get your own pricing formula, so you can see them slight variations, then they, right, but we they go by one pricing formula, and we they make sure say, as a government, we don't lose out.
Well, Fambulem, una don yeri from one Paliamentary there we can take a view the train. Of course, I they tell this man say it lie. The same way how Kiatikabio they come and lie power with dry eye, now so the people are with the bien and they accept the lie. That make I be tell you now say when you get a home, the daddy where they control, where they look over this home, in don't they bend, it not get through. Now that home day, you find out say all the family members there where they live under them, they therefore follow the lies them way the daddy they do now the host because then they copy from them. Now, you not find you, Papa, for being like man in front of you picking them. Some of them guys are waking come now the media, they talk. We already know, say, they're not honest to themselves and they're not honest to the country. But then they work in the interest of Kiatekabio. This particular government, when this misdirection, they are all not manifest them to we for say, they not care about their credibility and they not they work in the interest of Mama Salone. They all they work in the interest of Kiatekabio because they know say when the side where they for can lie for cover Kiatekabio, your biggest lie reach, if they not do them, then they lost their office. So by that one day, they don't care that they lie out there one. Now you will see recently in England where big ministers them, prime ministers them, then they resign because they care about their credibility. They want for further their political career, but not to Mama Salone. One great honorable, one great Munku minister, you go see I'm now two police there behind them. Today, a video where we watch, you see the former prime minister, he go to supermarket, he go bye-bye, go to Salone, let me talk, one Munku honorable, they go put a village, or Munku minister, may see I must police them, where they behind them. Of course, that's how they talk, so Munku they all meet up now. Slippers! The people them, now meet up there with the streets. They don't know say now we. They don't know say now Bible. They don't know say na Pierre. So now we jump into this fear. About this background of this man being a liar because of what he talk. It's except no sin a lie. So start with the way a manner where then people are they waiting. Say they put fear down. Now provocation to with the citizens them. It just happens say this particular power misdirection. Now a government where it be say there are none, including their supporters them. Not ever get shame. Small thing that they come and make noise na social media because they not get waiting for talk. And they see some of their supporters and they come, fear don't go down, fear don't go down. Una get sense? Check my other country them. The development where they do. Check my other country them. The way how their currency value before they begin compare to other side. Now here we see plenty videos them. Now certain country that are overseas, whether they sell the gallon, not a liter, the gallon, 4-5 euros some cents. We see them. The way Richna Salone, we they use the least fuel. We're in dirty pass all. No wonder we motocar them keep point that particular country there. Because some of their country are okay compare. When you watch the fuel, where then they use not first class for goodness sake. Why we know they understand God. Why we Sierra Leoneans them, we know they understand. So what one for can argue? They argue with common sense. You go see Salome and say fear longer up Salone. You go tell you say fear longer up Germany. You want to compare the fear where Germany they use and Salone are the same. Now dirty water we they use. compared to them country here. So when it comes to this price of this fuel, this government they thief we, this government they rob we, brought the light. They be the item, but now you know hide again. Pass you were fool, or you when not go small schools. You cannot use that word they say. Pass you were fool, not get common sense. Because you are not fool, you they really not say all the things that what this government they do, now more of robbery that they do. Then they rob we broad daylight. And now they can take a patiently take in company a yampy the way in don't train, they can put them for work under. No wonder we're not able to succeed. Because they say, show me your friend. And then they go tell you who that yourself be. Whenever you surround yourself with certain people of the same feathers, that's the same thing. So like me not to doubt, if some of them people can come for can debunk certain statements them where citizens and they pull just for cover the secret of Kiatekabio or just for cover the lies of Kiatekabio, all the thief, Yuki and Dabaru, where Kiatekabio be campaign with, where Kiatekabio punch finger at the former government when at the APC, now in don't can do and double and more. And again for still they do them. More especially where you know say the citizens them don't frown at us. So it don't get hope for this election. It just they make the high cover shame. Now I make it find out say if they do all kind of bad things, no wonder how they go take cargo ship. They say not fair. Yeah, all that not to the thing they can for can load for on our way left in the country. They want to arrest me case for now.
You depend fully yourself. Then people are not saying they do. Yeah. As we go down to the election, then they strategize. Because they know say we people are very much vulnerable. So they can use any small thing at any given time for able to distract them from the real part. So we get a responsibility, and the responsibility is for make sure say we pass the message and we pass them, let people get them very well. Now let's go to Imran. Imran, like you say, I don't want to repeat what you say, but honestly, it's a lie. When he begin for talk, he say they don't reduce the pump price by 5%. But later, when he go before and talk say the international, the world market, yeah, they don't reduce them by 7. And then na Salone, we don't reduce them by 9%. Hello, you get me? You really get me? They reduce them by 5%. Now the first thing that we begin tell we about. They reduce them by 5%. Yeah. So what we go do? Let we know how they call that thing there. Let not tell like for say we just want lie. Let we hear back small bit no more. Just that 5% there. La just be and come inside back quick one. 5%. Then in later tell we say then don't reduce them now by 7%, whilst the world market then don't reduce them by 9%. Then don't reduce them by 9%, whilst the world market don't reduce them by 7%. Low listening back, low get it right.
Well, a few things don't change slightly. Before this last meeting, they meet every 20 days for determine within the plat system look like based on within the international formula when every country they use. But within don't change now that it happen every 2 weeks. So at this last meeting, it happened at the Chief Minister in office, Jacob Jisu Safar, and now they then sit down together the oil marketers and Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Trade, PRA, and then look at the plat formula. So one of the things that we've always done is say when we come to fuel business now that it's a moving average of plus or minus 5. So whenever I go plus 5, then it means the price they go up. Whenever I go minus 5, then it means the price gets for candon. And in this particular instance, it don't candon to minus 5. And therefore, they make that determination day from 22 to 20. And so now that make a government announce. So we think for happen that in the next 2 weeks, there also get for be another review. But then that not they suggest anything. It only means say that review they go happen in another 2 weeks. We're not going to make that determination day as to whether price they go up or they cannot, because I remember say plenty time we don't get the opportunity for talk about petrol business. One of the things that we don't say lately, now the fact that uncertainty they in the markets, yeah, and because of the uncertainty, then nobody capable for give any cast iron guarantees as to within the next 2 weeks go look like, within the next 4 weeks go look like, within the next 6 weeks go look like. the one and they get to be determined by other global factors. But within we they do in terms of the calculation.
Sorry about that. So basically, wetin I be dey tell for talk, Imran, you sef don hear in the beginning he say by 5% and then don reduce am. But later, he can tell we say the international community don reduce am by 7% and then don reduce the own price by 9%. A possible, a not ever possible. And the same way so go before he tell we say, then they subsidize 516 billion loans where they don't subsidize. Yeah, but the question is, now through this, now through it they talk or now sometimes they just one for fake we and left we low pass with we own a that. So what do we do? It been then at the studio and it be challenged by somebody from Cannes. Let we listen. Waiting this person you get for say with regards all of them things. So we come back just now.
Before say something about that, I just want to say that the Petroleum Regulatory Agency don't lie to the people of this country. We cannot go and blame Imran in as much as not trying to do the research, right? It is cite exactly the information where the Petroleum Regulatory.
No, Mr. Marcos, I don't want for make you refer to PRA in this situation. You refer to Imran because in read out the information.
No, now Imran I read them out. I make us see. I don't use the word blame because not to Imran do the research, but he gets an issue
for this
because
situation. For this situation,
yes.
I want only and solely if there is any blame, you blame Imran because he didn't do
so
any
in that respect, I blame Imran very, very seriously because of the fact that Imran for don't cross-check in as much as is a very, very outspoken somebody, somebody who I get reservoir of respect for. You know, but this particular data we present here, so is very, very misleading, it's fictitious, right? Because of the fact that it totally and completely, you know, opposite to which actually happened. Because the global petroleum price, right, we are the most recognized, now immediate use. And always I say that as at yesterday, as at today, understand? Because even to this morning before they come, right? I get for look at them because the price they keep changing, right? So Sierra Leone, they sell the most expensive fuel. Now the sub-region, besides the examples that we are giving about Mano River Union, I look at the geopolitics, right? So that make I decide for look at the Mano River Union. But when you look at beyond, we feel very, very expensive. I mentioned earlier, say even where the countries also not even reduce them prices. Right? But for the past months, the statistics we agree in terms of the sale, now that's them in on the sale up to this particular period. The reason for this fuel business, one, now we get several factors then, right? You look at the forex in the first place. We money is so weak that the bank governor don't actually play that kind of role for make we're able to meet changing times, or even when we get a new loan, they appreciate the dollar. Rather than depreciate, it depreciates to the dollar. We're very, very bad for the country. Then you look at the number of tax system, right, we involve. Ibrahim the talk say in the first place, they meet to the chief minister, and that's, they look at 5%. 5% down or 5% up if they're within that range. That by itself is disingenuous to the people of this country. Because if the government itself decide for just take 5%, you don't look at the international markets, where now be the yardstick barometer, where they only use over the years, right? Or the few months, they can say the past 5 months, since March, where they use for increase the fuel in this country also. If the fuel can't down, then turn blind eyes and deaf ears into the international price. and yet they come, they only take 5%. It means, it's not really good for this country.
So what do you think is missing from the formula where government they use?
The pathway government they use in the first place, now a benchmark, right? We talk about Platts. Now, international benchmark, where every country for adapt to. But if you look at the data, you look at everything, they find out, say, look at the data set we present. You understand? Means say, they need to tell you the truth, right? And even where Imran talks, say, the governments don't spend billions or millions of dollars or billions of leons, right? Even that's questionable. Because how really would you realize? I imagine, now the 2,000 leons, or the 2 leons, now 15 cents of American dollar. You understand? Now 15 cents, only then they reduce. You can't just remove 15 cents, right? Now, if we go back to previous, last year before 2018, and one time where this country been gets, or where the world been gets highest fuel, up to $135, right? Around 2010 and 2011, right? Fuel been go up to that particular period. But if we reflect, which will be the price, right? It not be reach 7,000 at that particular time. But now we get fuel price going up to $135. That is before 1 week, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, right? But yet we feel they to the highest peak. So what the government for do in the first place? They get to what they call harmonization, right? Wherein the government for don't call all the one that way they benefit from the fuel. Then sit down at table, then discuss and decide for cut down on the various taxes that we involve. Because it gets a lot of taxes. It gets levies that we so high.
Now, just last week, we been get the Minister of Trade. They talk about the sacrifice we government don't make for ensure say fuel price reduce now Salone. They talk about some of the taxes them we governments don't forgo for ensure say fuel cheap now Salone. For Munayon studies, what now some of them taxes are we don't feel say government don't forgo for ensure say fuel price go down now Salone.
Governments they make money out of the fuel.
How?
Every liter.
How?
You understand? You get, for example, you get the road maintenance fund, right? Where they extract money from, right? You also get the petroleum fund, where they extract a particular amount of money from. You understand? You also get storage, right? You go to the call.
Well, my people, we all don't hear it. Just for us to waiting a bit talk, you get people where they prove them people are wrong on the senseless talk them where they can't talk for big fool people where they not deserve them kind of big fool talk here where they talk. I tell you now my statement just to say the reduce where this government say the reduce price of fuel na provocation to we the citizens them. The speed where they get the speed what we get for add per the fuel, not to the speed at all where they get for can reduce a price. And this may not call them even reduce. Yeah, may not call them reduce. Then just they do some of them things here for try for camouflage people and because of waiting they want for commit people and campaign them. But let me tell you something. Upon all the things that where they happen, except somebody where it decide for be a fool forever, now not they able to understand waiting they go on now this power government. But some of we where we not even attempt for be a fool under this government because plenty of we Salone people them we even get sense past the caretaker to be honest enough. We get sense past them because if this caretaker gets sense, really. If not caretaker, this will be get sense. Like this country, not for the like idea so. We not for grumble, like how they grumble so. We Sierra Leoneans, we don't need much. We honestly don't need much. But just that, then we can some of them can get small sense for know how they for attack issues them in the country. Power can big fool them, and the one way they around them can add for big fool them because they say now fools them. For make the country just they go behind, for put some reverse gear, like how this government don't put this country in reverse gear. So I get one word where I always talk now, I say, The things them where this caretaker and in Cabal don't do this country. But who not unfold it until the day where we the voters them the ASAM that 6 day. Now the time we they go see some documents them where some man go taught in Anna aid and cry. Caretaker bio he really plan always he do so. Caretaker bio he really mean always he do so. For anything where they go on at this country, make nobody not tell me say caretaker bio no. In the brain box of all the yuki where they go on at the country. When I say they talk, no. When I say they pull statement, no. Because if they send them people here say, make we create this road for thief. Caretaker bio used to ram. Now he make I always say if we watch caretaker bio in biography. No Salome not for happy for give caretaker bio chairman of any club or organization. Because the man in record will tell you, say, it is not a leader. Not a leader at all. It's not. But we call that kind of people and they not destroyer. Caretaker bio don't come, it destroy. Salon people. We say, okay, full say for. We say no. We can't begin to rally bien and back. Et puis si no go sidoya, angry beaucoup et puis si no go sidoya, they suffer beaucoup. We dey dance, we dey pull sing them. The big Joe them. I don't know how they did today. Now the suffer beaucoup, the angry beaucoup, where we be sing. Bien ki ate kabio, where they go and pull baby babala English them. Today, you will be the say the suffer beaucoup. How you describe the system right now? Today, you will be the describe say, be the Allah say the angry beaucoup. How you describe the system right now? Don't you still get big fool that I cover shame supporters them? Where people they come out to some of them facts them, yeah? And they come with the angry belly. They come and argue and curse people them. Where it be say some of them where they can't enforce so the people them. When the clock they knock 5 o'clock, not in order in table. But just because now my brother, we they talk the same language, we come out of the same region. This green now they are born with me, mama, me papa, I for support them. You they support you, know they even move you your life before. You know they move your life before. Now you they support. Today, other places them. They enjoy small. We have self know that. Sorry, we know they enjoy. Look Liberia, how much for fear lay? Look Guinea, how much for fear lay? But now we no more no tranganes, or now we no more tranganes for me all time. What you do? For all the things you get, we still get evil people the way they can't sit up for rule this country just for make we suffer. But the only thing we would like for tell we all, including me, when they talk September. We were able to go. We were not able to go. Make we ready with phone them for tell with people them for come out and go register. Now the only solution, all the noise where people they make, that they pull on, not to buy ballot box. I always they talk say if we don't be at 4 years, almost 4 months now. Now few months left for make we go na the ballot box. You know if say if you go fet right now. Now we think at Ikabio 1. Now you don't do. Because you don't permit her for Sidon na power more. If you go if any problem where they affect that country, but you know if say you don't suffer the people more and more, you don't suffer them. If na protest we protest, make we come up with protest peacefully. But we are make we not fight. Make we just pray to people them for go register and vote out this trouble and fire we did before we. I rest my case, brother.
Thank you very much. So the thing now, the government actually know what they do and then deliberate in any of the action. Caretaker baby don't tell we say anything they do not by mistake, then they do it intentionally. So now, when the fuel price they go up, then can go, and then send the blame by Ukraine and Russia. But now the fuel price don't come down. They don't get any side for send the blame. Instead, they say then don't reduce and pass how they even supposed for reduce and 2,000 millions. Where according to the one that we don't summarize and analyze the whole thing, then the try for tell we say by now for the talk about 12 to 15,000 millions. Where then for don't make the fuel price go. But hey, wait. I suspect something. It could be say they want to keep the price so fast. Let them tell we say inside 2 weeks. Now then are the only government inside 2 weeks they reduce the price past 310. So what they want for try for do? If they don't pull them from 22,000 to 20,000, then go pull them they count them back 18. Come on they count them. So it could be say now then are the only government. So when fuel price they go up, they know they ever take the responsibility say we not sabi or we get a blame in this. You do understand? They blame the international community. They offend people when they blame the Russia, the Ukraine, and everywhere, whatever crisis and COVID. But when the price they come down, when are from this same international community, then they rush for Kapu and take the praise say, now we don't do them. Hello? Whose kind of deceitfulness this? Whose kind of dishonesty this? Just tell me the truth. We know say na you dey na power. That is why, okay, now the reason this whole case today, we dey blame them say anything happen na them. Because now the only government this one sabi, when things they go wrong in the country, they know they ever take responsibility. They always defend side for go hang that particular blame day. If na rest they go up, thing and the triangle, they must go hang up on COVID. But I bet you, today, if everything normal, the thing come down small, then go say, we government don't try. We don't bring the price down to this. We don't this. But they no go ever praise that international community. They no go ever do them. So you begin to ask yourself a question. Whose kind of government this? The way it cap and bad and the afraid. Where it cap and good, they want for take everything. The same thing, how then they deal with the previous government, the one that was in the opposition now. Where anything where bad happen inside the country. You see, from when they come, then the defense side for blame. Anything where happen bad in the country, when they don't failure now or not, then if they're not even for opposition, then they even for Ukraine, or they even for Russia, or they even for COVID. But anytime when the same factor they also lead to reduction of prices, they're not going to ever go back and say, now because of this, they don't come down here and I make you come down. Then they take place say, now because we lack the people them, now make the price come down. But when things they go up, they're not going to ever tell you say, now because we not lack the people them, or because we fail. They will never do that. This is not the problem. They're not going to ever do that. Nothing they're not going to do. So, whose time now we go begin for see the honest part of this government? This is a very big problem. Now we go down to election. Let me fast forward them and go inside the Electoral Commission Sierra Leone. As today they been going again to the caretaker and tell them about the different plans them and waiting they don't put in place for the 2023 election. So first of all, let me listen to the ESL, the chief. Yeah, when Mohamed Kone, let you hear about waiting it don't do with regards all of them things they also where they go on right now, where they plan for the election. Where they come back just now.
Updates on the public elections in 2023. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, since the proclamation of 24th June 2022 for the multi-tier election by His Excellency and my good self in March, I am delighted to provide the following update. Voter registration. The register of voters will be updated for the conduct of presidential, parliamentary, and local council elections in accordance with Section 12 to 40 of the Public Elections Act 2012 and Section 25 of the National Civil Registration Act of 2016. In March 2022, with reference to Section 22 of the Public Elections Act 2012, His Excellency the President, by proclamation, declared the period 3rd September to 4th October 2022 as the period for all eligible Sierra Leoneans to present themselves for the registrations as voters. The Electoral Commission increased the number of voter registration centers by 10%. The number of voter registration centers increased from 3,300 to 3,630. The spread of the new voter registration centers was even across the country, with the emphasis on the geographical distances between the existing voter registration centers and the population density. I also want to inform that we are aware we'll be doing the voter registration when schools will be on, and therefore we are working with the Ministry of Education for us to put modalities in place for enhancement of the process without disrupting school activities. The Electoral Commission has concluded procurement of voter registration kits, development of the voter registration system and software, and 2,000 laptop computers and accessories for the voter registration. Delivery of these equipment is expected end of July to early August 2022. The Electoral Commission will use the 2,000 laptops, computers in two registration cycle of 15 days each within the registration period 3rd September to 4th October 2022. In each registration cycle of the 15 days, only half of the voter registration centers will be open across the country. The Electoral Commission is working with the National Civil Registration Authority on the interinstitutional arrangement for the extraction of civil registration data and provision of civil registration staff and registration kits for the purposes of updating the register of voters. We are cognizant of the fact that not everybody might be on the voter register, on the civil registration data by the time we'll be doing voter registration, and therefore we'll be making provision for those people to be on the civil registration as well as the voter registration record. With reference to subsection 4, update of boundary delimitation. With reference to subsection 4 of section 38 of the Constitution of Sierra Leone 1991, the Electoral Commission has a mandate to review the division of Sierra Leone into constituencies at intervals of not less than 5 years and not more than 7 years. Therefore, the Commission has indicated in the strategic plan of 2020-2024 that the externality of significant shifts in the population distribution of Sierra Leone following the conduct of the midterm population and household census may cause the Electoral Commission to review the division of Sierra Leone into constituencies within the intervals referenced in subsection 4 of section 38 of the Constitution. The provisional result of the midterm population census and household 2022 indicates an increase in the total population and significant shifts in population at the district level in Sierra Leone. Therefore, for the purposes of boundary delimitation, the Electoral Commission has done the following. Resolve to review the division of Sierra Leone into constituencies using the minimum interval period of 5 years. Set up an internal boundary delimitation committee to facilitate the review processes. Sign a memorandum of understanding with Statistics Sierra Leone for collaborative support in technical and logistical matters during the review process. Parliament of Sierra Leone has confirmed that the number of seats for ordinary members of Parliament will remain 132 seats for the next Parliament. Submitted a budget to the Ministry of Finance for the conduct of the review of boundaries. The Electoral Commission will use the results of the midterm population and household census 2022 for the purposes of conducting the review of boundaries and has requested Statistics Sierra Leone to provide the relevant data. The timeline for the conclusion of the review of the boundaries, including enactment of the new boundaries is set for October 2022.
Well, now the situation that one day right now. We come in the government inside it.
Well, of course, me people, we don't hear the long babala talk where they don't can give it again. We know the time for it. But before they enter inside that topic, the better one. Now, YouTube, we get a 293 where they watch right now. We only
124. We don't like the program. So do we fumble we remind now because we know say some of you forget. For make una hit the like button for we so we move forward for give una the information we supposed for give una.
Before we continue, I want to remind you say we get one more issue for CAM where with regards to the Tambaka issue Usai the Parmanent Sectary Northwest don't confirm say caretaker bill don't take side for that particular Paramount Chieftaincy election day. Even when they go to court, when they come to that one, they gist now.
All right. While we people have not this man don't come explain to him boss where na caretaker bio we send him for do the census. He don't come and give a report as we tell you now we headline. Now, they don't say them no get for add any seats again. But when I give the headline Judicial, I put word the way I say, So, if NEC say they know they add any other seats, they are not help me because this Mr. Self are baffled. And as something where I ask my brother behind the camera, if una not they come and add a seat, but una don't come and give we the number of people where they have various districts, that means say they don't boku, so then they do the boundary delimitation where they be trying to talk about. So how this thing therefore happen? Because they may not be able to answer me between me and you. How they want to do this thing? How? I don't know, to that time they tonight, my brother, himself, we don't get answer. But I still baffled on this particular issue.
So you want me to answer the question?
I don't know if you don't get idea, or if anybody get idea, let them help me in the comments.
Okay, so now like this. They know they add any more seats, but I quote them. I think it would nice for that begin quote them.
We better so.
It say then don't do it in call, then go do it in call. Well, we don't see from the midterm census, we get waiting and call increase in population shift. In other words, we find out say outside the population been swell up, yeah. Now like where you get swelling, where it come today. This second side you see it swell up now, but the next minute it don't go under. So it's saying so. We find out say through the midterm and housing and population census, the population shifts. The way the population go up, it go up really in the country, but it shifts, it lingers on some side. So in other words, from the census report we see, we find out say Kenima swell up, and then the swelling go up, yeah, and the north it reduce, the west it reduce, but the Kenima and the eastern region generally is swell. So we see say population shifts, the increase in population is shift. So now that they basically the talk. So what they do right now? Then we use this data for review the constituency for make wetin dem call boundary delimitation, where dem go get for mark say, because of the population where they are, no, this side not fit forget this population, this kind of constituency. So instead of this particular side, you get 4 constituency. You say no, the population there, so not equivalent for do for you get this kind of constituency. So we reduce them because the population now this party so it go up. And with the mark, and here we get another constituency. So if you look at technically, then get for do minus, plus, and minus. Then get for minus na the west, inside Freetown, for example, western rural and urban. Then get for minus na some other parts na the north. Whereas in the east and in the south, you go get for find out say na like when you dey inside Poda. That make everybody understand. When you go inside Poda, you meet people in Sidom. You say, push, una shake no last Sidom. You go the apprentice today, una shake no shake fine. Now so now, this person will be in there, the commode Ikaya. This will be in there, the commode Goyanda. And if you look at technically, outside the constituencies then begin. Now inside Kailan district, outside then the end. Now inside the western area. Okay? So now you get for begin get shift. You have for shift and for let go na the east. So the west and the north get for shift. So for let go up na the south and the east. So basically na that to get for sing. Before this thing come to an end, I mean the the population and housing system, the census, the midterm. We be don't tell una say inside Kenema, we get forget another even before they give the preliminary report. Yeah. We tell una say Kenema get forget another constituency. And the side when the suspect say we get forget, who be the suspect, get for do with that lower Bambara area. They get forget another constituency. In fact, then they try for see. But we not hear it. Although now the other people get for do, but we not able to district it. But of course, you get for no say some area then they where they lost constituency, some area then they where they lost the constituency, they go to other side. So technically, the same 132 constituency we been in a parliament and within a parliament and go did it back after 2023 election. But you go find out say if the north been get like 10, for example, it will get for reduce. If the west been get like 10, I just to take example, it get for reduce. So this now the technical part where they do. That is why NEC don't sign a memorandum of understanding with Statistics Sierra Leone, and then they work on this thing now for make sure say they use every data. Interestingly, the term before this report come out, the term where the Chief Electoral Commissioner been announced the dates for presidential election, it tell we say they left a provision in case they go get for use the midtown and housing census, they report, then figure, then statistics. Then we been come back now and say, oh, something wrong. This and this and this now the thing. We come back with the lower Bambara. But the bottom line now, we all not a secret now. Kenema, they on top of the game by population. We all know say, now Kenema now populated past all the other side in the country right now. Because of waiting according to Lima, a lot of people them don't go on that side. A lot of business they go on that side. Offices then they factories then they business they go there. So they don't attract a lot of people them na that particular in district there. So this is not the situation. So right now. So if you ask me, waiting it mean na that. So basically then they set up waiting and call the review committee where go look at how they go able for push, make fine last sidom. How they go get for adjust for make sure say Kenema gets what it's supposed to get because of the population. Of course, because of the population where you get right now, then get for get more constituency. Freetown get for lost constituency. And the north get for lost constituency. And outside the constituency, they will go find themselves. Now the south and the east. We'll arrest the case.
So me fumble them, you know, whenever we did talk about them people there, we get for take with time slowly for make we pass the message. So you self where they listen, they able to gain the message. You where they listen, and we where they bring you the message for make we not pass you the wrong information. Now it make you find out say when me and me brother they pass message, we they send them tintan too for make you self able for understand. Make you know waiting with the try for talk and make you know waiting with the talk. You know, one thing where caretaker bio bring, of course, for me, na continuation, because if you don't get used to them, now man will sabi for manipulate, thinks them, for make them happen how he wants them, just for your selfish interest. You see how they don't set up the game, you dey find out, say, the side them where they get for feel say, now they your weak in point, Now they didn't get for do this champ. Now they didn't get for reduce. Then they get for can reduce. Now this side them where they feel say, then weakening points there. Then they can strengthen the own side where they feel say. Now they didn't get high saying and high support. You don't get for can still say. Then they reduce constituency. Now they use stronghold and counter na the north or any other side. It don't get forever happen. But to not get for can you say, side like free to on the north, side them no more when they feel say they don't get better support. Now they don't get for can courts, for can full up their own blank spaces them. Now they use stronghold. You see where people and thief and a young people. Now imagine people that will come and point finger, but other people them say they corrupt. People them will come and point finger, but other people them say them the thief. People them will come and point finger at things them when they say that they come lock the loopholes them, the UK will be they go on. Then they can try for settle them. So we able forget what did that be they call a new direction where today it don't become a misdirection. When I see the games them, whether they play, now it may could be tell you see this particular midterm census, not to nothing make Kiatekabio dryly go out and do now for make it can gain where they make it able to rig the election with a grand style. All of this, if they try to manipulate the election before time, but I did some of una not be able to understand. As we can tell, una say, what una listen carefully. So when people they are the talk, you they know exactly whose side they drive at. And we get to see more things them. Trust me. We get to see more things them. Kiatekabio they can put things in place for make it not come out now this power.
So if that be the case, let's just listen to what INSSF be respond to NEC with to ASL with regards this thing where they go present to come back just now.
First, we believe that the better governance ecosystem is good for our democracy. Freedom of the press is guaranteed in our laws, and we have removed seditious libel laws as the courts deem fit. International forum. I applaud efforts by the Electoral Commission that every citizen has an equal right to fully participate in political debate, to be consulted, to vote and to be voted for. Gender, sexuality, disability, age, youth, level of literacy must not be a hindrance. They must be fully accounted for in the inclusive democratic elections at all levels. I urge us all, therefore, stakeholders, citizens, development partners, to continue working to ensure that the future of elections in Syria is fully inclusive. Further, I'm briefed on the general support by the UNDP for the consultative conference that led to the adoption of 103 of 111 recommendations of the election observer missions, EOMs. Progress on implementing details of the legal and non-legal issues has been mentioned. I urge the Electoral Commission to continue to work with other election management bodies and other stakeholders to fully implement those recommendations. My government remains fully committed to supporting peaceful, free, fair, and credible electoral processes. dates for the parliamentary and local council elections have been declared at least 15 months to the election day. We have also proposed fixed dates for elections and other such reforms that will enhance the quality of elections and the governance space. The Chief Electoral Commissioner has also declared dates for presidential elections in accordance with his mandate. I'm pleased to note the constitution of the Electoral Commission in accordance with the ex-ante constitutional provisions. I urge Parliament to ensure that all regions are fully represented on the Electoral Commission. I also acknowledge the administrative and organizational restructuring within the Electoral Commission. And I thank partners and the Commission for working on further strengthening the capacity of the Electoral Commission's staff. Efforts to construct offices and warehouses at the district level are commendable and should support transparency, fairness, timeliness in delivering the results of public elections. I also wish to commend the Electoral Commission for preparations made so far regarding the upcoming voter registration exercise in September to October of this year. I urge the Electoral Commission to intensify its public sensitization effort on the processes and the procedures for voter registration. My government also acknowledges decisions and efforts at boundary delimitation in accordance with the constitutional provisions. I note the memorandums concluded with other agencies to facilitate both the voter registration and boundary delimitation process. I appreciate the immensity of the work and the time needed to successfully conclude the processes within the time set by the Constitution. The Electoral Commission can only count on the support of my government in achieving the best outcomes for Sierra Leoneans. My government will patiently await parliamentary deliberations and conclusions on proposed electoral law reforms. Parliament is the only competent body that will change existing laws, and I'm confident that their work is informed with what is in the best interest of our country, laws that permit inclusive, fair, peaceful, and transparent elections at all levels of our democracy. Aggrieved persons must also be able to access and receive speedy and fair hearings in a competent court of law. The mic is giving way.
Well, of course, my people, una don't hear the reply we Caretaker Bio give towards the report where the commissioner come put before his face. But to be honest with you, the things where they go on right now in my Salone is really, really scary. The same Caretaker Bio where they talk for say USA incidents in government really willing, and they want to make sure say we get a free and fair election come 2023. Remember saying that the same caretaker, the time when you know be test this sweet power. I'm not saying that power where they can enjoy, but this sweet one where they can teach so pass any other term in life. We don't see fine money pass any other term in life. It not be test and it's where he pull word come on a do say he na bio, but he na be soldier. He be well green, but he be know the green way he wear for make SLPP come take power back. Imagine you know that and they not be test this sweet power way you don't taste right now. Now the caretaker bill, she don't so they tell we say in government ready and willing for make we get a free and fair election come 2023. The same caretaker bill not able to give the citizens them where it feels that they oppose in government free and fair judgment now the judiciary. Anyone will go there, he must give a phone call say I get interest on this case. A country also I see people that prosecute IG go prosecute case na court. Caretaker bill prosecute kemosi. Now in the tell we so say in government ready for me to get free and fair election. You know, sometimes when this man they talk, I wish I get ways and means where they choke and almost side is done. I wish. You know it's painful in our life where somebody will not deserve for punish una na a particular compound. Though if they punish una, una not able get the strength for all and squeeze them. It can really frustrating. It can really frustrating. Somebody like caretaker before tell we say he ready for the free and fair election. After people themselves they talk the facts like we show. If caretaker will set eyes on we, na barbecue. Because we not do self. Look how we dry now. God arrest me case. Sound. There may be a sound.
All right, very sorry again. Basically, waiting at the try for say, I know they talk boku about this, but waiting I want for do it talk say anybody will get electoral matter if I go to the judiciary and they go get speedy trial, no interference, and everybody will get justice. So waiting I want for do, I want for link them to an issue where happen at Tambaka Chiefdom. Usai we find out say then get this Paramount Chief election. I want for you listen to key words them where they come out. Interestingly, they report just do one and then they not pay attention to the specifics. Yeah, but me listen to them, and that is why we do a review. This is 98.1 Musa and Kamara now in do this report from Tambaka. So what do we do? Please, I want we all pay attention to this particular report. No follow attack, not glad for anything. Just listen to every word where they come out of everybody in mouth. I want you to pay attention to two people. One, the Paramount Parmanent Sectary, Northwest. And then the Paramount Chief elect, the one that just don't go where in people and go welcome. I want to pay attention to them. These are the two people where you for pay attention to, where you able to get exactly what they say. Whether they talking by mistake or what, I'm not able to understand. By the way, this is 98.1, the report. So now, let me listen. I beg, let me listen to this report where Musa Kamara been put together. Yeah, at the Epona, take note. We move.
Tambaka Yubani Chiefdom, Karene District, Northwest Region of Salone. They welcome them Paramount Chief, PC Kane Bamba II, for make it begin in work officially as the Paramount Chief elects. PC Kane Bamba II been win the PC election na Tambaka Yubani Chiefdom July 2021, but not be able for go na the chiefdom for rule as a result of injunction from the High Court of Salone, who says some people been petition and say he no get right for commot and contest for Paramount Chieftaincy, as they say he no commot na rule in oaths, but he been win this case na court with evidence na the Salone Royal Gazette of Salone, where show say in great-grandpa be don be Paramount Chief na the chiefdom inside the 1920, and this ruling oath been don dey exist before 1961. We say Paramount Chieftaincy candidates them don dey contest under this ruling oath from 1927 to 2021. Prince Soliba na the provincial secretary Northwest region wey be escort the Paramount Chief to im people dem bin take in term talk about how legal the Paramount Chief dey and the ruling oath wey e dey represent.
Una bin get Paramount Chief wey comot at dis ruling house na bin the 5th of August 1925. Before dem make am Paramount Chief na bin Almami Kande, wey dem make am Paramount Chief on the 5th of August 1925. He changed the name to Kande Baba the first. He ruled Yobaji for 3 years, 9 months. We were looking for good cause. Now the lawyer called me and the SDO. Now they say, PS, petition only now regarding this person where you don't declare their rights. Why you do that? Now say, as far as me know, that man get right. He get right number 1 because that ruling house where is in a day come up, if it don't exist before 1961. And they say, well, I will go get this information. Before I get the answer, I will not write me a report. Now I get the report. Inside the report, that answer did it. I tell them and turn on the page. I said that information about that ruling house and the man in Great Grandpa. He come on one book when they call Regional Gazette, page 866, paragraph 277. So they go court. What did I be the court result? The one they will go court, they wrong them. And they not only wrong them, fine them 10 million. And then Grandpa they say they go appeal court. Now appeal court is on the president say, well, this is why I will not need for waste time. Now president need to keep the staff. And this one they show say the president don't recognize the Paramount.
After the court case, President Biobingi Kande Bamba II instaffed this Bienten Akono with other Paramount Chief them, but the petitioner them still gonna appeal court after where the High Court be don't throw them case na do, say he no get better evidence for prove the allegation and be fined them 10 million loans for waste the court in term. We make the provincial secretary call on the Paramount Chief for make sure say he work with all the party them, even the one them where they felt in Paramount Chieftaincy.
You and the daddy make efforts for bring everybody together, and that will make you enjoy your Paramount Chieftaincy. Make efforts for maintain peace and security. Make efforts for promote peace and justice. So what you show now, some of them go do bad. You never stand strong as Paramount Chief for say what do you do, you not correct.
The Paramount Chief, PC Kande Bamba II, being appreciates government's efforts for pick Tabaka and do the election among the over 100 chiefdom them we still not get Paramount Chief yet.
I feel very good. I tell the Almighty Allah thank you. I tell the President thank you. We make it possible. The section chief then, when I 7 section, 6 present. I tell them all thank you, then welcome me wholeheartedly and then accept me as the Paramount Chief.
As one of the most deprived chiefdom them na Salone, the Paramount Chief been called on government support for road and other service them at the chiefdom.
The bridge, we not get bridge that very day, it not take 6 months, it don't well. That's reasonable effort, me and my brother, when I Mohammed Ibrahim Suri Kamara puffed off. Through Randy effort, now then all they make effort through Papa God in power, let Papa government help we.
Well, of course, a fumble now this will be one for make una self get na the side of the story. We always tell you, say, when you listen to them people there, you know what's in the mission. But for some of we, nothing not there again, we the wire the talk, we the doubt we. We just they ask for bring them to una, so una be believe or make una believe more and more say the things them where the people have the talk, where some man be they feel say na mistake or na power gladness be all them when they start for talk some of them things they are. They mean them because up to now, when they don't clock 4 years, some month, they still they talk some of them things they're against other citizens them, we then feel say they're not to pure citizens them. If Abu we don't come out and tell people them say, yeah, well, I don't cancel. If I meet any bush shaking, we they kill everybody and anybody who imposing cry back instead of they join we. Doubts not get for day. It look like say SLPP resident ministers themselves. Now I don't understand. They're not a big word for talk against the voters there. And they don't even care how for talk to the voters there. how the caretaker take himself towards we the voters them now, so all the appointees them take themselves to we. The caretaker not value we. You see that they kill people and you see the caretaker no they talk. Of course, now they send in guards them back for go kill people them. Now they send in IG for go kill people them. And I saw back, they talk or tell me say I'm Misuna. I'm not saying nobody for vote for me. So to me, I don't get much for say on this issue. We just play on this particular statement for make una self get something. Una the gain.
Okay. So let we take them small by small. While let we pay attention. Sarful. Yeah? Just hold on quick soon. I want for let we to go. As I go, you self the follow.
Karene District, Northwest.
As I go, you self the follow. Now so we go. Sarful. Just hold on so quick. Last show you something. Anyway, the way our life they go now this country, easy. Okay. So first of all, the Parmanent Sectary, where na they represent the ministry for the Northwest. Na they actually go with the Paramount Chief. The election then be all inside July 2021. We don't there a lot of people then they say, hey, we get you in a Tambaka, hey, we get you, we don't care this case go na court, and then waiting they happen. The court not they take me serious. Interestingly, when they get this case go na court, the court be put a petition on the Paramount Chief. That be making able for go. The petition go with an injunction. When they petition the court put an injunction. In other words, enough for act as a Paramount Chief until the court done. Well, we find out say inside the first case where they been petition them, where they put injunction, the Paramount Chief be win the case. But the people then say, we still not glad. We not glad with what una say. Because of that, they will go to the highest court of appeal. For go appeal. And the first Southside then go then fine them 10 million because they lost the case. So now, then go to the court of appeal. Imagine, quick turn out the talk so. The court of appeal then the caretaker gets serious interest on this particular issue. But by the way, before I tell you, why the caretaker get interest, according to the report, according to the Paramount Chief, out of 100 chiefdoms them, where they are the country, where they suppose for all elections them, then just take Tambaka no more. The all election for Tambaka. Not to me talk, now the Paramount Chief then tell me that one day. He said, he tell the caretaker, thank you, for way out of the 100 Paramount Chief them. Now, he then take where they make election for. So he appreciate them for that day. So now, after the appeal court, when they don't go to the appeal court, then caretaker be according to the PS. Lord listen quick, but Lord just listen. Back waiting the PSC.
House, the 5th of August 1925. Before the African Paramount Chief, Almami Kande, where the African Paramount Chief on the 5th of August 1925, he changed the name to Kande Baba the First. He ruled Yombaji for 3 years, 9 months. We were looking for good cause. The lawyer called me and the SDO. And they say, PS, petition only now regarding this supposed to be don't declare their rights. Why you do that? Now say, as far as me know, no man get right. He get right number one because that ruling house where the Senate come on, if it don't exist before 1961. And they say, well, I will go get this information. Before I get the answer, I will not write me a report. Now I get the report. Inside the report, that answer did it. I tell them, let them turn on the page. I said that information about that ruling house and the man in Grace Campa, it come on one book when they call Regional Gazette, page 866, paragraph 277. So then go court. What did I be the court result? The one they will go court, they wrong them. And they not only wrong them, fine them 10 million. And then grab and they say they go appeal court. Now appeal court is on the president say, well, this is why I will not need for waste time. Now, president need to keep the staff. And this one is
Okay, una don't get her now.
After the court.
they wrong them.
Una don't get her for herself. The Paramount Chief said the first case, because of the background where Iggy, then they wrong them and then fine them 10 million. But the people them not glad and say, then they go na appeal court. When they go na appeal court, waiting again, then get from the appeal court. Waiting, who side the president Ionka inside the now? Now this is say.
They wrong them, fine them 10 million. And then grab and say they go appeal court. Now, appeal court on the president say, well, this one I will not need for waste time. President wrong them. And they not only wrong them, fine them 10 million. And then grab and say they go appeal court. Now, appeal court on the president say, well, this one I will not need for waste time. President the staff. And this one they show say the president.
So yeah, the caretaker say, "Ebo, this not a serious case. Una no go waste una time yonder." In other words, the appeal court wey suppose for take action. Now the caretaker na say, "Ebo, una no waste una time yonder. Una just forget about this. This not a serious thing." So that's not the end of the appeals court. Now the end of the thing yonder. So why the caretaker get interest on Tambaka? Why the president so much interested in the issue of Tambaka? We make now only Tambaka out of 100, not to miss you the Paramount Chief, then go only election. And even when the people them for one other side we then call Yanni, yeah, where they feel aggrieved, then go and at the appeal court. The president say not to see your stick, not just no waste to time. And then in not when then they go left the Paramount Chief, the people them pandance and pull into the first day. What thing happen? The police turn for another set of people who come on at the Yanni village. They kill 2, they damage 5 seriously, and they arrest 6 just from one side. Because then people here they're not glad. And the caretaker be don't tell we say they're not serious. This is not a serious case. Let them forget about Andy. So you see how the appeals court case end. It just ends just like that. And then they don't go now, then go left the Paramount Chief. How peace good day when the caretaker they talk about justice, but waiting in the talk and waiting in action, now 2 different things. In the talk say when you get election and you not glad, you go to the court, you go get speedy trial, no interference. But that's not waiting the talk and waiting in the do behind the scene, now 2 different things. We can tell you now, right now as it is now. You know we like we because now lie with the lie so. But interestingly, we not just the come and talk. We dey play something and then we analyze what's in play. But this one be very clear. The Parmanent Sectary, now SSF tell we say, the caretaker say, but this not a serious case. We had no waste to our time. And indeed, not so it end. The Paramount Chief come and tell we say, out of 100 chiefdoms them, now only Tambaka then choose for do. Why is so much get interest? So much that he impose people them, now the chiefdom. Where the other set of people are not glad for that. This is not the situation. So if a small Paramount Chief election like that, a small chiefdom like that one day, the caretaker they interfere. Say even they interfere with the court case. Say not a serious thing. What thing will happen with the general election? This is not my question where I get. But no. But sometimes Bible he gets better idea. If you don't ask me, now I intend. If he put more pan small election like this, what thing will get for happen to a big election?
Well, a big election more of killing for making win the election and get for happen. Then you not get for doubt you.
Okay.
Now he make they tell me people them say all the waiting with the see so. Now just like where footballer want go inside the pitch, where in coach tell and say grab, make you jog. Now you turn for can go play. All the waiting can take a they do so. He get for can do in double come 2023. Make no mistake, Kiateka will not willing and plan for left this power self. Now my answer that is very, very short.
I will talk to somebody today. Where they tell me say, you sure say Madabio he will left the power. He said he win the election back. I say how? He said they rig him. I say okay, possibility there. I say but he will only succeed for win the election. If they give him chance, and how then they do. Let's take for example the issue of constituency, the constituency in Atom Kolili. No way, not the way APC been get chance for win that particular election day. They only win them because the international observers them we can do. Let's tell you something. You find out say even from new National Elections Watch, then come up and tell we say Fatmata Sawane and other top people them. Go na the different polling station there and say the new people them for Kobonado because they're not APC. So now, if new put all the observer them at different parts of the country. That's not the settle the problem. Because then people here, this government, they get one focus and they're only concerned about one set of people, the international community. Now, only when the international community they're not they misbehave. Because then always want for make the international community they see them like them clean. Let's take for example, Kwenadugu. We been get just local observers they win plenty day. Right in front of new. Then go there, scatter ballot station, burn election materials them. Nothing not come up behind that day. New come up and report that one day. Waiting like Lawrence Lima do and continuously they do. Then they attack new. Say new instead of them they support the government, then they're always against the government in terms of the development plan. So in other words, they not ever they respect locals, that local content, they not ever respect them. Now the simple thing is, this government not respect we the people them, but they value always for they give big words to the international community. So if this election is jam-packed with a lot of foreign observers them, the election will be peaceful and it will fine. But if we just bank on new and interestingly the other part again, then they get plan right now, then they set up another institution where then they give accreditation for monitor election. So waiting this institution get for the day for do. Anytime when new come out and say, now this we observe, then they come with a counter press release and talk say, no, this side been peaceful, this side been peaceful. Then go they steady for counter all waiting new they talk. This now the plan and the plan they on right now. You see the organization come up GG's no. As it come up, as I be the name, they don't tell me the name. But now I just don't waiting, but as I hear the name, I don't know that the organization this. The organization don't ready, then they try to put things them in place for set them up because they want for them are the one whole country. This is not just something we are the give to you based on confidential information. This organization go there only for counter waiting new they do and waiting new they say. So for example, if now new and that organization they go monitor the election. Now Tonkolili for example, when you come and say now this Fatima Sawanedu, they will tell you say no, this election be peaceful and everybody be abide. In fact, now this set of people them come out and can try for quell the election. These are the plans of the government. So the only time where this election will be fine. Now, if we get a lot of foreign observers them, where good day now, it's not easy really, but we need a lot of foreign observers them, we go there now different polling centers them, if not station, but different polling centers them across the country. So when you pull a result, foreign observer pull a result, when this organization, when they try for set up, pull a result, we go see the reality out of them. But this government, they only get respect for one set of people. That's now waiting. The foreign people and where they come. But any other person inside the country, no. You guys, be careful and take this as a way for understand. Today they almost. It just on 12 o'clock. So today now the 22. I go talk 22 of July. Una take note of this. The government they set up a civil society organization way for monitor the election, way for always the discredit, waiting new they come up with. You una go feel say we see you are the talk because we want for talk. And we don't always tell una say we always they tell una waiting una think say na the right thing now we want for do. We don't care like me I can always talk. I don't care if APC, I don't care of SLPP. Waiting me care about now the people, and this now the people's election. This na the people's election. So anything we get for do, I don't care how you call me, I don't care what you say about me. The information where people need for know will make sure they una get them. Bible, this na the recent development with regards to the election of 2023. Now, caretaker be all the wait for the Public Elections Act within Parliament because now with that election law day, it get serious power for do all waiting he want for do. But take note. Now, at the final say some even people them they where they cost new, and they always tell us say, waiting some people they cost new for not a new stand for. Me don't sit down, I don't monitor nearly every organization inside the country. They tell me I be journalist. I don't know all waiting and stand for. So certain things they will call certain organization and say, no, not all the thing this way stand for. But now, even the government, I can always talk, say, when this cry is done, it means say this person they do well. Even the government, not like waiting new they do. Even the government. Instead of the government attack issues, you go see, then they say, new na this, new na this, new na this. Everybody they against new, but I will tell you now for real. New, now one of the credible institutions we are known as Salone and we are still known as Salone. The government are aware of that day. So now the government gets plan B of how for handicap, how for disable, how for destabilize the entire new. And interestingly, the new way we talk about so, you get some people them day, we been there new, we get very important role na new, where they inside this government right now. Very critical role the way they play na new, we been don't resign and then they inside this government. So what thing happen? Then sabi all the strategy. How for do for let new get strength and let new disable. So now they are working with the government, then they strategize for make sure say they attack the credibility of new. By the way.
That one day, no need for doubt, Salone people, if caretaker bio, they take more stands for see how it is able to rig this election. That one day, not for doubt the people, if caretaker bio and in cabal, no they take new the information or the report for be a credible information or report. As long as me concerned, anything we get for do, but caretaker bio in government in bad things where they do, credible, enough for give out to the public for make them listen into that. But all of this is left to we. We serve as citizens, we get a role for play. From the one, me, asleep, they go wake me up and sleep. I will tell you, say, caretaker bio, even get intention or either willing for make we get peaceful, not forget about credible, because it wasn't different. Caretaker bio is not even ready for make we get peaceful election.
No, tell you, no, we get peaceful election, but it go full of fear and voter apathy. You know what that simply means? Now, the election, it go peaceful because people will fear for do anything stupid. People will fear for even come and protect and vote. Why I say so? I don't repeat this and I will talk again. The North and the West get forget where they say police and military. Then get for they rooted. So waiting this simply means. Like how you been see then go na Tonkolili, where you see a lot of soldier man, they all my old gun, policeman them. Now so the election get for day na the North and the West. So
maybe what you call that one the peaceful?
Yeah, na peaceful. Can I tell you? Wait, it's peaceful because nobody not set confusion, but it is full of fear. Not in all the fear and free and fear. It is full of fearness. So now waiting to happen. When people they see, then they afraid for go there. Then they afraid for go and vote. Now this they want. And they no say when people not turn up for vote, the other side, who side, they really not get that kind of security presence there. People really vote there. So now been the same strategy this where they want for use that on Kolili. But the reason we make people come up because of the presence of the observers then. So yes, it get for be peaceful because you know for hearing no confusion, but it get for full of fear.
Okay. As I say, we self get a role for play. In this case, the only role now we get for play, we shall strength, we shall power, we now make we continue for pass the message to we people them, for make the able for come out and go register. Just like the word where we can always they play for now before we they can sit down and talk. Make sure you know go register. Sorry, we be say you get first train for good day. If they decide for stop transport, sorry, we go sit down, get transport for go. Register outside Ibise. If you also get steps, now just matter of candle your steps, you go vote. Now the only thing that you will get. But if you say somehow they allow they go in confusion, we go this, caretaker be prepare pass me and you. We honest. Now you get the police, as still they go on right now. Now you get the soldier. Una don't see.
You see, sorry, but one time in the when the election time they come, where APC been in the power. For example, Imran, the time where he been get in dreadlocks, where I been the moderate program. In other words, I they do program with SLPP. Then we get one SLPP hour when we did 98. You they see Imran, they talk big book them. They come, they talk about the audit, the this and that, all of those things, and they just for talk about the system. Now, only today, Imran, they talk say, but 20 years back, waiting be the happen, and I understand. I say, what? What do you mean, and you understand? Because now, the table don't turn. So now, anybody where they can tell me, say, this government, now this, especially things that we know they do inside the country will rely on the international community for help and other things. Then you tell me about that particular thing, they are they vexed because you have no good solution to that. But when it comes to managing the economy, you forget the idea, you forget the sense. But these people not get the idea, not get the sense. So now, all what they want for do, now for create a lot of panic, a lot of fear. That is why you see, caretaker be right now. By the way, I repeat this word, you will talk about peaceful. After you say the election get for peaceful. But then they create fear and panic in the minds of people. That is why even blacker, when at Christmas, they know the left hand. Now for a very strong way, a message that one day. So, me and you get a responsibility. We need to be very polite in the things that we do. Certain times in the not for say whether caretaker be like or not, God empower or go. No, sometimes they let we move away from this religious point of view. Say, hey, now God, hey, where this happen, now God. No. Take the bull by the horn. Go, not set confusion or waiting because they are looking for those opportunities. For then something happen, they say, pop, state of emergency. Now one year, pop, and then they add inside this one. They say the country not stable right now. State of emergency. 1 year, free one. So we really get to be careful of waiting we do. I tell you this, Bible yesterday we today talk. It say, we not be they expect this. I tell you say, now what to ask for, and we always get to be very careful of what they ask for. Certain time the person say, una come on, let them go waiting. Una waiting. We go come on. Not to that day. If we do a protest, let's do a protest and let be peaceful. But anything beyond that, no. Because then they look for that. And interestingly, anytime when people come out as a protest, you see them they come out beaucoup. Waiting and they come out for can create problem. And when they create problem, but they say, hey, the place not peaceful, the country not secure, this not that. They are looking for every bit of opportunities. So we really get to be careful of waiting we do. We just get few more months to the election. Any state of emergency, they last for at least 1 year, depending on how the country they go and how the president determines say it peaceful or not peaceful, or a good or not good. Every state of emergency. So we have to be very careful. Me go tell you say register massively, not double register or become a case. Register and allow everybody we don't reach 18 years for register, or we go 18 years before September or before June election. Make a register, because now only the votes they redeem we from what you go consider as bad governance. By the way.
Well, I think say we don't try our best for bring all of the information there to we people so they say they able gain something out of the whole about we go on in the country. We just they pray for make we able succeed. We on mission, just like within your advice, we own mission is about preaching peace. We own mission is about talk to people for go out there and register. We own mission is about let the people come out the day for the voting, go vote. Alexa police can jam, answer. Go vote and commodity back can sit down. And we still pray for make the way how the international community turn up for we and send observers them. But this small election, may God touch their heart, they able to send more observers them 2023 election. If we don't reach the other side, you accept me, well, I get something for say. But me, by Bure, for today, we rest with own case, Naya. Because of time, we family members themselves get for rest, some man get for go work, some man just come and work, some man get for sleep, for grab, for go work. We care about everybody, and we respect una all as family members them inside this house. So if not so it be, plenty thank you to all the family members them. And even you where they come and cost we not take and say, we now you family member. We consider you for be, we your family member. As long as you concern we are. And even you not concern we are, but if you listen and sorry for we are, we consider you for be we your family member. We tell now plenty thank you, both Facebook and YouTube. You will come and share, like the program, and invite people them. We tell now plenty thank you. Make we continue the love and peace for make we get a better country. Me by Bray. I love una. Una stay blessed until we meet again another beautiful edition inside the same channel. Tata. God bless you.
God bless you all for we don't take your time for come like, share, comment, and view the program. With your positive words, with your negative words, we love una so much from my heart. We know they do this against SLPP. We they do them against the bad government, the bad people them in the government, and the bad things them we they do to we own country and the people. Not to 100%. A bad say they must get 1-2% where they do we okay. But the things the way they do, we very bad and the way they talk about. We they as well prepare because we know say the opposition anyhow it be 2023 or not, then get for take over power. 2023 or not, then get for take over power. So we get for make them know say we get for watch them and watch every part of their body for make sure say they clean for take over. But the question now, who that will be the caretaker after 2023 election? Put something down for we at the comment section. My name is Simbepe, the freedom fighter. Now me family them they na power. Until we meet again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Salam alaikum, rahmatullahi barakatuh. You know say plenty people not get for votes the time for election. Not because they no want for vote, but now because of this simple mistake where I can't tell you what so, now I go make plenty people no vote. Right now, as the Electoral Commission, Salone, don't pull the date for vote and for register, plenty people just the yagba and they rush go do things them as then they tell them for do. But hey, members say registration, the voter registration, they begin from the 3rd of September to the 4th of October 2022. Then a number 1 step where go give you guarantee say you go vote. But if you make mistake during this time, you not go for vote. And I think this way person not go able for help you pan. What in this mean? It means say no ever register na the area where you dey work, do business, or where you dey go school. You know what it make? You don't know. Sometimes the time for the election, then go say public transport not for run. This na big challenge for you. Remember, if you tap na Kalbaton and then you dey work na Lomley, how you go able for go and vote na that side? You go able for waka? The answer na no. So, no make that mistake there. As them blow the whistle, when they say, hey, today na the 3rd of September for begin the voter registration. Do ya try by all possible means for register na the center where they near you house. So the day when they go say for voting, whether Mutuka deal, Mutuka not deal, not to your business. You dey go serve na morning, vote, return back na your house. So you see, if you make this mistake, the possibility go they say you no go vote 2023. So waiting at this yagba now for say me party go continue for then power or me party go return a power if I'm not able for vote. You want vote, they change the whole situation.